there's actual music that we could start with this. You are live. It's like it's in the chat, or it's not in the chat. You know what I mean? It's there we go. Now I can go live. So there's like a massive delay between Instagram and what we're doing over here on this. So it's like I have to wait to hit the go live, or else we don't go live at all. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Social Surge with Fly and Mo. We are going to be talking about Fly's spectacular hat collection. Spectacular.
Which
it's there. It's kind of fuzzy, but you know.
Wait. None. What?
Good morning, Beth.
There's more up here.
Good morning, everybody who's joining us on Instagram. So today, and then the other thing we're going to be talking about too is we're going to be talking about the DNA of CRE Marketers Report. So there's 2 reports that you can get. One is specifically for CRE brokers. One is specifically for marketers. Of course, I should probably have downloaded both, but I downloaded the marketers one because that's the one I was most interested in. So I'm really excited to kind of talk about the key takeaways from that report. This is all based on your responses for marketers. So some good stuff. But Miss Fly, tell us about your hat collection and where people should send their hats should they want you to have one of there to add to their collection.
So I will start with the first hat in my hat collection that started it all was this hat from Zach Molzer Development in Kansas City. And but he sent me one and I was so thrilled because I really enjoy him as a person and I love all the work that he's doing. And I think that, what I love about merch and swag and all that kind of stuff is that it's just like, obviously it's brand awareness, but it's a really great way to just like show a little appreciation and love like for yourself and your brand and to others, right? And if you have a really dope hat, like a dope hat is clutch. So that spiraled into more hats and the search for hats and the collection of hats. And I have actually I've set up some alarms on eBay for like looking for, I have ICSC hats that are like old, that are kind of like vintage. And I just thought, like, I'm a big CRE fan and I love this community, and like starting a collection to celebrate that and to like share with people and go swag from people. It's just like an easy, fun thing to do. So this, and I'm posting them all. And I have a backlog now because I have a lot of hats. But this hat, I'm so excited about this hat because this is the only hat that was on the ICSC New York floor. This was the only swag that somebody brought that was a hat. And it was also from the best booth, which was, of all things, the city of Madisonville, Kentucky. The city of Madisonville, Kentucky had the best booth at ICSC, not just because it had the best swag, but also the mayor, Kevin Cotton, the mayor of Madisonville, Kentucky himself was staffing the booth. And I was so impressed by the whole setup. And he was just such like a warm, genuine person who was like, ready to talk to you, ready to talk about his city, ready to talk about why retailers and developers and people should be coming to Madisonville. And it was so remarkable to me, because it was the only city. And I think at Vegas, there are probably more booths like this where cities come to, meet with these people. But they were the only city. They had the best swag, and it made a huge impression on me. Like these people and, this community is, looking for relationships, looking for connections, looking to support people, looking to expand. And it's not something I've seen a lot of any other people doing. And so like big ups. I am definitely putting Madisonville, Kentucky on the list of places I gotta go and get some content. So that's my plug. There'll be a post about it later. But again, I guess if you want to send me a hat, send me a DM, and I'll put it on the wall and wear it. And yeah, so this is this. It's also my only gray hat, so it's cool. Anyway, so that's the hat. That's the hat game.
That's the hat game. I love it. I love it when, so at SAOR conference, the fall conference in Hollywood, is it I'm going to say their name. I want to say it's Pantone. No, I'm saying it wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong because Pantone is a color. They're a company.
Oh, Pantone.
Thank you.
I think.
No, not the color one. Not the color. Anyway, they had a really cool booth, and their swag was very nice. Very nice. Very nice. They had the cups. I'm a big cup collector, and like glass. What are they called? They're not tumblers. They're, I don't know what kind. Anyway, nice glasses, and they were it was great. It was a good thing. One comment about Mr. Zach Molzer. I freaking love the content that he's putting out right now. I just happened to watch the video again of the stuff that they found in the hotel, where it was like the brown mayonnaise. But there was a part of me that like really wanted, I was like, are you going to taste it, Zach? Are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to taste all the stuff that you found? Because they found like all this food, and it's just all the stuff. Now, also, hello, Mr. Zach Molzer can play the piano, and our friend Topher Stevenson plays guitar and he sings. So I'm saying we need to have a jam session at CRE Summit. Just saying, jam session happening. Be so good. Programming committee. We need a big win here. Okay. Okay. So, all right. So let's talk about the 2025 DNA of CRE marketers report. So if you want to know about this report or the two reports that they have out there, just Google search in the Google Nader DNA of CRE, like that. Build out and broker list come together to put these reports together, and this really should help you actually figure out how, especially from a social media perspective, and a marketing perspective, really, of how to work your marketing in 2025 and what's important. Some of the key takeaways from the report include, which I found, now these are based on your guys' answers. So this isn't just like random. This is what you guys reported, that email marketing is the highest performing channel. Now, does this surprise you? Why does it not surprise you?
Me personally?
Because I think I was actually surprised by this, like the amount. So they're saying 81%.
So this is actually, so I want to like put a little context on this. People have been doing email for longer in this industry. People invest more time into email, and the people who are seeing that email is highest performing are probably not using social platforms as much as they are using or relying on email. So it's like, you know, it's not that I'm questioning the data set. I just think like is a part of, you know, when we say that it's the highest performing channel, are these, you know, I would be curious to see like, how are the people using other platforms, other channels? Like, what's the ratio of usage? Do you know what I mean? And so that being said, I'm not surprised that it would be up there because of, you know, if we go back to our conversations about where you actually own your content. If email is the way that you are going to go direct to the people that you're trying to reach. When you're using social platforms, when you're using, you know, paid digital ads, which comes up later in here, like you are going to you're on the channel where people are looking, but you're not necessarily sending those things directly to them in their inbox. So it's an important piece of your marketing ecosystem. But I feel like anecdotally, based on nothing except seeing these numbers, that email is higher because that's what people are using, and they're probably using social media less.
And they have more, like you said, they have more of an established routine of actually using it. And so one caveat I would add to that is when you're thinking about your email marketing, and multifamily Mason Fiasco on LinkedIn, I think he's multifam Mason on X. I don't know what he is on the other platforms, but if you want to hear about a success story with email marketing, you need to subscribe to his emails. The amount of business that he has received by creating kind of these, in his own words, they're not pretty, they're not super fancy. It's just the facts, ma'am, just the facts, right? And so he puts this information out there, and it gets him business. And people will tell him and I'm paraphrasing a story, but it was like, so I think he's in Tri-Cities, Washington.
Yep.
And a property owner from Spokane, so from my area, contacted him out of the blue. Like, obviously this woman was on his list, his email list, but he'd never had a conversation with her, never spoken to her. And she did business with him based on those emails, because he was the only one providing that market data, intel, information for her specific market. Nobody else was doing it. And she's like, you obviously understand what's happening here, so I want to do business with you. And they did business based on email, but he was providing that value within the email. So when we're thinking about email marketing, think about it in a way of, how are you providing value? And it's not just the property blast. It's not just, spitting out what you've got going on. We all know that works, that it's good, but how are you providing value? Are you doing any kind of market reporting? Are you breaking it down by sections? So in this, in this subsection of this market, this is happening. And depending on what asset class you're working in, there could be a lot going on. There could be a little going on, but your clients still want to know what's happening. And so when you are planning for your email marketing, what are the questions your clients are asking you? Always answer that in the email. And James Milner says, so James has joined us on Instagram, and Robin Hendricks has also joined us on Instagram. So a couple of things here. Robin says, doesn't Fly sing? And then Robin said that she went to the city of Madisonville based on Fly's recommendation, and the mayor was very personable. And then James Milner says, tell the truth about the bullshit of local governments. Yes, you can absolutely do that in your email marketing. So, in better terms,
don't touch Mayor Cotton. Don't touch him.
In other terms, put in the information as like what's happening in your local community. Maybe there's something that maybe there's tax abatement. Maybe there's some new legislation that's coming down. Give them your opinion on what you think about that, right? In a good way. And I put that, don't blast everybody in your email marketing about that information. But put it in a way that's actionable, that people can actually do something with, and then they leave informed. So email marketing is super, super important for everybody who is part of commercial real estate. Really, when you're thinking about in 2025, what kind of value can you provide? What kind of information are your clients asking you that you could put in that email? And then, of course, it never hurts to put like a little testimonial. Just saying, it never hurts. It doesn't have to be grandiose. Just be like, hey, we were working with this client. This is what happened. And then, of course, then you want to push them to your website as well. There's certain things that you want to do in your email marketing that will really get people to interact and engage with you. And, of course, then, we don't have to get into click-through rates or time spent on the email. That's not important right now. But providing that value is super important. So from this report, again, we're going over, if you're just joining us, we're going over the 2025 DNA of CRE broker and marketers report, but we are just going over the marketers report right now, because obviously that was the most important to both Fly and I. And it's the one I downloaded. I haven't downloaded the brokers report, which I will do, because for me, knowing what my brokers are wanting is important as a social media manager. The next thing that we have is that social media platforms widely used. LinkedIn is used 92%, leading in effectiveness with 53% ROI. Huge. So ROI, return on investment, return on, what was it? Return on, somebody said something, and I think it was actually Rod Santomassimo. Return on involvement. No, that's probably wrong. But you have to think about, so when we think about ROI, when I'm thinking of from a social media perspective and going back to email marketing, I want you guys to get those emails. That to me is the most important thing. Getting somebody to drop into your CRM, and we could get into the debate of which CRM is best. I don't care. It's whichever CRM you use, right? Like you could have the best CRM with all the bells and whistles, but if you're still using the old Excel sheet, then guess what? Your CRM is Excel and that's the one you use. And if that's the one you use, Lord love you, but at least it works, right? You know it, you use it. So it's whatever one you use. But when we're talking about social media, top of funnel, bringing people through, social media is the very top. It's how you're creating that brand awareness. It's how you're providing information and content. And then, of course, the next step is bringing them to your website. And then the next step is getting them to fall into your CRM. I feel like we could totally do like a parody song with something about fall into. Anyway.
Don't give me ideas. I have work to do.
I woke up with Brooks and Dunn in my head this morning. Okay. So like, that's how and not like a bad thing. Like I like Brooks and Dunn. So that's what's been playing in my head all morning. But the point for me is I want to get those people into your marketing ecosystem, getting them to subscribe to something, getting them to download a white paper. They can download a lead magnet. I mean, there's just so much stuff that they can get, but you want that email address. That email address is your money. Your money is in your email, because if you ever leave your brokerage and the emails don't belong to you, you're starting at zero. You're starting at, ground zero, basically. So make sure that you're getting your emails. Mr. Dwayne Burris, thank you for joining us on LinkedIn. Let's see. I was emailing market deals where some wanted more and others ignored them because they fell into, I thought it was one of those emails. Well, so Dwayne, this is great because he's talking about materials relevant. I was told to make my subject late. Okay. So yes. Sorry, were you still reading that? Do you want me to put that back up?
Yeah, I got it on the side.
Okay. So if all of you've been doing is sending out property blasts,
yeah,
I would recommend sending out an email that is like an introduction. Hey, we haven't talked in a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that email introduction, it's nothing fancy. You don't have pictures. You don't have any of that stuff. It is just text. And it says, this is me. This is what I do. And it could even be something that, bringing up Rod again, when you're talking to potential inactive clients, it's there's 3 questions, which of course are going to leave my brain right now. It's like, how are you? Or here we go. It's what's new, what's next, how can I help?
Love that.
Right. So that's Rod Santomassimo. What's new, what's next, how can I help? When you're connecting with inactive clients. So thinking about that and using that as a framework for an email, a reintroduction email, so that people realize that when you're sending out these emails, it's not just a property blast. It is, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm hoping to help you. Right. So that they get Pavloved into opening your email, right? They get conditioned into opening your email versus ignoring it because they think it's just a property blast. So thank you, Dwayne, for that. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, one thing I want to highlight in what he said was, he said, I was told to make my subject language some sort of action needed, and that worked. I think this is so when we're thinking about email, and you want to think about this, no matter the channel that you're using, whether it's the first line of your LinkedIn post or the subject line of your email or the hook in your reel, you have 3 seconds. You have 3 seconds to get somebody's attention and to communicate why they should keep watching, or why they should open, or why they should click, more and then read it, right? And so, knowing that And also too, one thing that I really appreciate about brokers, especially my New York brokers, is like they don't wait around for anything. They don't. It is go, 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 go. Let's get this done. You know what I mean? And so especially for, especially if you're looking for some people, if the people that you're trying to reach are incredibly busy people, figuring out how to call them to action, and whether that is to open the email or to click through to the website, being really specific and not really general is something that is going to help you, especially in those subject lines, right? Like, yep, I was going to go off on a whole other tangent. But I think that's great. And putting calls to action and, or CTAs as we call them, is incredibly important throughout your materials, through all of your marketing, on all of your channels, whether that is, an invitation to engage all the way to, buy this building, right? Because people need to be told what to do. Honestly, people need incredible clarity and simplicity in seeing what the next step is for them. The one other thing I want to say about email or any social channel is, if you're sending property blasts, if you're posting your listings, like if you are constantly showing up with an ask of buy this, do my thing, like me, it is much less likely for them to engage with any other content or your marketing at all, right?
Yep.
One thing that you said that reminded me of this. There's this quote from Gary Vee, who we love, but when you're making your content or working on your marketing materials, whether that's email or on any other channel, you need to be able to answer the question, why would this be good for them? And if the answer is actually why it would be good for you, you need to rethink about how you're presenting yourself to people.
Yep.
So, email, making the ask and giving value. You want to have like a healthy ratio, a healthy mix of both.
Yes.
More coffee now. Moving on.
I haven't had coffee yet. I would like that. Yeah. So just on a side note, I don't start my morning with coffee. I start my morning with water because it's supposed to be better for you. But like, an espresso martini would be great too. Just saying.
There's water in that. There's water in it.
James Milner says, "Gotta run." Hey, James, have a great day. I hope this helped you out. Okay. So email. We've gone over email marketing from the DNA of CRE report for marketers. Interestingly, 84% of the respondents said that they use Instagram and 81% use Facebook, but they show lower ROI. So when I think about Instagram and I think about people who are using it really, really well, I think immediately Beth Azor.
Of course.
She's the canvassing queen. She uses both Facebook and Instagram to prospect. So if you want to see a great example of how this is done, talk to Beth or go through any of her videos, because she does talk about this, how she's in the DMs, she's sending out DMs, and it's for her, it's super fast. Like, I think she says like either I own shopping centers or I represent a shopping center. Are you interested in expanding? She doesn't bullshit them. It's very quick. It is very simple, right? Like, don't waste a person's time, especially in DMs. Don't BS them. Just, this is what I'm looking for. Are you interested? And her response rate is amazing for that. And then, just move on if it's a no, not this time. So if you are in retail leasing, then yeah, definitely you should absolutely be utilizing Instagram and LinkedIn. Yes, ma'am.
One thing, and this is pure speculation. However, if I didn't know who Beth Azor was and I owned a shopping center, or if I was potentially, the ideal prospect for Beth Azor, if she sent me that message and I got that message, and then immediately the next thing I'm going to do is click over to her profile. And then I see, dang, okay, she's serious. You know what I mean? And so it's like, one thing I want to highlight there, because I'm working with, I've worked with a lot of people who are like, and you do too, of course, like we both do, people who are interested in starting to build their presence, like putting out the content and being consistent about it is so important, because if you just sent that message
and you have one post,
and then you have one post, like I'm not,
or my favorite. Thank you for letting me go off on this rant today. Like literally my eyes started twitching as I thought about this.
I'm so excited.
You go to their profile on Instagram and it's private.
Oh no.
If you work in commercial real estate and you are using Instagram as a tool for top of mind awareness and building your business, having it private makes me not follow you at all. I'm like, oh, you like, so like on mine, right? Like I'll go and somebody will be like, hey, they whatever. Okay. And I go and click on their profile and it's like, oh, it's private. Nope, we're not doing it. No, because the whole point of you being in business and having that and having your name, yada, yada, CRE, yada, yada, like you're already branding yourself, but now everything's completely private. Like, no, we're not doing that today. So
it's a huge wall. It's a huge friction. If people have any friction in their experience of getting closer and closer to doing business with you and going from content to conversion, like they're going to go out. They're going to pull right out of that funnel. It's like not having your phone. It's like not having your cell phone number in your LinkedIn profile if you're a broker, or not answering your phone. So, but yeah. Anyway, I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
Yep. So so a lot of these, based on this report, a lot of them still use Instagram and Facebook. One thing I would say about Facebook too, and don't forget, is the fact that Facebook community groups are huge.
Yes.
Absolutely huge. What time are we at, honey? I got to make sure I get you off of here on time.
Time to go.
It's time to go. Yes. So last thing I want to say, paid digital ads, 54% are used. LinkedIn ads are leading among brokers. Totally makes sense. We will go over more of this report for you guys on Tuesday. This fly has to run.
Birthday.
It's your birthday? Oh my gosh.
Tuesday. Okay, can I just say one thing about paid ads before we go?
Yes.
Okay, I will die on this hill. Okay. Do not start with paid ads. We have talked about it before. I will say it again a million times. Unless you know that your content is already optimized for engagement and reach and visibility, and you know that by having hard evidence of posting it and experiencing it, do not dump money into ads. Do not dump money into ads.
Agreed.
That's it. We could talk more about that another time.
We will talk about that on Tuesday, because that's perfect, because we'll talk about paid ads. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back here on Tuesday on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram. This is Social Surge live with Fly and Mo. Everybody have a great day.